So in this video today, I'm going to be giving my opinion on the Houston Rockets' first two Summer League games. And my initial reaction is, guys, just stop overreacting. But before I go more in depth, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into it. So let's kind of touch on the first game against Orlando, which they lost 77-91. Now, key things to point out was that I didn't really like the amount of threes that were taken that weren't very high percentage shots. But at the end of the day, you can't really expect much because it's Summer League. No real plays are being run. These guys aren't really teammates for the most part. There's some guys like Aric Holman or Aric Holman, which is on the roster, who did very well. However, it's not even part of the Rockets, so you can't really read much into the plays that are being run. So a very poor showing from 3 around 9 of 31, 29%, and 38% from the field, which wasn't very great. However, there were things I like, such as Tari Eason may have struggled from the field slightly, shooting 6 of 17. However, he really did show his aggressiveness offensively and also defensively. He showed a lot of presence there, being versatile, and was also crashing the glass with a double-double with also 13 rebounds. So I was very impressed with what I saw with Tari. Yes, he had a few kind of interesting takes to the rim. However, that comes with time, and it shows his aggressiveness and willingness to absorb contact and try to finish at the cup. A lot of them were very ill-advised layups. By the end of the day, that's how you grow, and he did show a lot of signs of developing into an aggressive offensive player which can do many things, such as drive to the rim, cut, shoot. But yeah, that all comes with time, and I'm not too worried about him going 2 from 9 from 3 either. Took a few, like I said again, ill-advised pull-up threes, but that comes with time, and I was very impressed with what I saw from Tari Eason. Now, going on to my friend Jabari Smith. Now, I see a lot of overreactions with the way he played, and my thing is that if you didn't watch him at Auburn, you're not going to have the correct ideology of the type of player he is. He was a number 3 pick, yes, and although I feel like people are overreacting, if you watched him, you'd realize that when he started off at Auburn, he kind of had a slow start and picked it up as the season goes along. So he's someone that I wouldn't be worried about right now, because even though he was 4 of 10 in this game and wasn't very aggressive and he didn't get the amount of touches he deserved, he was still very impactful in the defensive end, being able to switch 1 through 5, staying in front of ball handlers. And I don't really get what the concern is, because his offensive game will pick up, and even if it doesn't, he's the best defender in this draft by a country mile. You can't really find that elsewhere. So even if you just get a 3-and-D kind of role player which is being thrown around like a Mikal Bridges, that is still perfect value for the 3rd pick, because not everyone has to be a superstar. And I'm not saying he's not going to. However, I'm saying the overreaction is just so uncalled for, as it's the first game of Summer League, or first 2 games. For God's sake, Ben Simmons was shooting jumpers in Summer League. Yeah, that's the point. You can't really read too much into what goes on in Summer League, and we should see how he develops as the season goes on. Then Josh Christopher, I'm seeing, is getting a lot of hate also, and you need to understand, I'm going to even touch another point which links back into Jabari Smith. Josh Christopher is a 2nd-year guard. In my opinion, yes, he's not a playmaker. So when guys saying pass the ball, I agree there's a few times he could have dished it to Jabari more or deferred to his other teammates. However, he was trying to get his own, which is understandable, as at the end of the day, he's trying to carve his way into the rotation more and potentially getting an increased role than last year. So I see why he's trying to show out. But he's not a facilitator or playmaker. He's a hustle 2 guard that comes off the bench, provides a spark on both ends of the floor, very athletic. So for you to expect him to turn into flipping Rajon Rondo in his prime, throwing these dimes, that's just not really realistic. And that also links into Jabari Smith. He's not really a shot creator, because I saw KD being thrown around as a comparison, and I never really understood that, because he's not someone that's gonna break down 5 defenders and pull up. No. Okay, so he doesn't really have a point guard that can set him up in pick and pop situations, pick and roll situations, so you can't really expect much. And for the most part, he was playing the 5, which he's not going to play during the season. So this is something you need to take into consideration before you just have these harsh opinions on him. So he's not really done very well. I mean, he's not really done very bad, and I don't really get the overreaction from the fans. And TyTy as well, you know, he was just there. That's the best way I can put it in his first game. Nothing bad, nothing great, but you know, it comes with time. But let's move on to the second game, which was against the Oklahoma City Thunder, in which the Rockets squeaked out a win by 2 points. Now, much improved. They shot around 42.5% from the field, 34 of 80, and 11 of 36 from 3, around 30%. So a marginal increase in the 3-point percentage. And Tari Eason again, Took less threes, however, was very aggressive going to the cup. I believe he hit a mid-range, which is very nice and very good defensively. The thing about Tari Eason is that he's going to be such a well-rounded prospect with his offensive game and defense kind of balancing out. His ability to crash the boards and run the floor is honestly very impressive and something that will be very beneficial for the team going forwards. And I really like the aggressiveness I'm seeing from Tari Eason early on. And yeah, I'd be very positive about this guy because he's showing very good signs of being a very, very well-rounded player overall with minimal weaknesses. And then Jabari Smith again. Another game where I'm seeing a lot of overreaction. I'm not going to lie to you and sugarcoat it. He was 5 of 19 from the field, which is very poor. And he was 2 of 9 from 3. However, let's highlight the stuff he did do well, such as 9 rebounds, which is very impressive with me. And the defense again. You've got to give someone like this time with no real point guard as a 6'10 forward, 6'11 forward. You kind of have to have some leeway. Like, look, he doesn't have a facilitator next to him that's going to give him open looks or get him open. So it's kind of like, you kind of have to sympathize with him having to force up shots. And if you look at the way he's missing these jumpers, they're not way off, they're not airballing, they're not barely hitting the rim, they're in and outs, they're good shots and good looks that on another day Jabari Smith could have easily been 10 of 19, 11 of 19. So I'm more happy with the shots he's taken and the aggressiveness he's showing than him just being timid as I think he was last game. So in my opinion, I'm really not too worried because it's not like he's stinking up the house. He's showing his potential on the defensive side of the ball. And like I said earlier, the offensive game would come with time. Just stop overreacting, honestly. We get Paolo's doing well now, which is great. You know, I like Paolo a lot. However, Jabari Smith does have his strengths as well, which kind of overweigh Paolo's weaknesses too. So you kind of have to balance it out and stop being so negative and comparing the two at such an early stage. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to look at Ben Simmons again, I love bringing it up. Ben Simmons looked 10 times better than Jaylen Brown in his first 2 seasons. Who's better now? Exactly. So I wouldn't jump the gun too early. I'm moving on to TyTy Washington. He had a very nice catch. Caught the ball, relocated for 3 with a little sidestep and knocked it down from the wing. I really liked that from him and it showed a lot of confidence. And he had 9 points in this game, 4 of 10 from the field, and I kind of like what I saw. Nothing spectacular again. However, I know he's easing his way into it and will slowly just begin to pick it up as more games come along. And I'm going to touch on Aric Holman again. I'm really impressed with him as he was bringing a lot of energy at the 5 position. Posted Chet Holmgren, spacing the floor, rim protection. This is someone that I want to see get a 2-way deal with the Rockets because I really do like the energy he's bringing on both sides of the floor. And yeah, he seems actually pretty good. I'm not going to tell you he's flipping Embiid, but I'm telling you right now, he looks very good and I would give him a chance on the roster because I like what he's bringing to the table. And again, the hate that Jaygup is getting is so unwarranted. I've already said again, he's not a facilitator and he did well passing the ball this game, well, the game against OKC, than he did in the first game against Orlando, but the hate needs to stop. Yes, he's being inefficient, he's taking a lot of shots, but that comes with being a young player in this league, and the summer league isn't really about winning games. Yes, it's a plus if you do, but it's getting the reps in, getting your shot in, and you need to remember some of these guys haven't played organized ball for 2-3 months now, so you kind of have to cut some slack and understand that, look, they're shaking off some dust and this summer league, don't read too much into it. But overall, I've actually liked what I've seen overall from the Houston Rockets summer league team so far. The overreactions need to stop because I feel like some of these guys are going to really turn out to be great NBA players, including Tari and definitely Jabari Smith. So like I said, give it some time. You're going to see how special these guys can be. But thank you for listening to my waffle, which it was waffle, but you know. But make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree with me. But that's me.